Okay, please don't mind sitting for a minute here. Many of you all already know, we lost an institution here in Munhall. Agnes Hogue, the past week, longtime member of our planning commission, headed up our Memorial Day parade. I don't know what we're gonna do, without her here. She was, really ran that parade and took the bull by the horns and ran the whole thing. So a moment of silence for Agnes. Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman Ballas?
Here.
Councilman Ingalls?
Here.
Councilman Petrucci?
Here.
Councilman Stein?
Here.
Councilman DeShawn?
Here.
Councilman Bodian?
Here.
President Foster?
Here. Preliminary announcements. Any preliminary announcements? Okay, we have no guests here tonight. Just the residents here that always come, no special guests. Council items, waterfront maintenance agreement. That was one thing we were,
As you know, we were, the last year and a half, or 2 years, we were working on, the TIF came to an end down the waterfront. So there was an agreement for the 3 boroughs to come together for a maintenance agreement. We will vote on that next week. The packet, the agreement's in your packet. If you have any questions, let me know.
agreement's been worked on, there was hired, no money of ours, but there was a grant to hire a third party because 3 boroughs basically wouldn't be able to come to a decision on their own. We tried to get a good impartial decision, so there was a grant covered by the Heinz endowment, right? So,
Question.
yeah.
So the TIF, you said, comes to an end now in 2018. What is the number, what's the monetary value that's gonna come into the borough? I asked you that at the workshop meeting or the
Finance.
budget meeting last night. I'm wondering if you have that number with you.
About $500,000.
So we're gonna increase about $500,000.
No, that's what's gonna be
revenue.
coming in, that's not what's
Revenue's
gonna,
gonna come in.
right.
Good. Thank you.
Okay. MSSMA letter addressing the waterfront pump station.
Right, we put, there's a letter in here, Municipal Authority, Munhall Municipal Authority is, sent a letter out to the 3 boroughs and the waterfront that there's some discrepancies on what's owed, and there's a letter out there that we're sharing in your packets of back waterfront, or pump station back pay.
Okay, the new building collateral issue.
It was the Willis Center collateral issue. There's a letter in there stating that PNC Bank has taken the 2 parcels off as collateral for their $1 million loan.
Rezoning 9th and 10th Avenues.
Can I make a comment on that issue about the collateral for the
Sure.
building and the new building proposal? And I don't have everything here for this meeting, so does that mean that we'll be voting on taking that building next week?
That wasn't in the plans.
I'm just asking, just because I'd like to talk to council next week about proposals of work to be done at this building and work to be done at that building as well. And just give you rough numbers, I don't have all my information with me tonight, but we're looking that we could probably redo our borough building for under $2 million versus $9 million that was proposed. I want council to think about that. I think that we should do it in an incremental period, and if we're getting a $500,000 boost into our revenue for the borough, we can certainly do a renovation to our building without any tax increase at all to the borough. So that was why I asked you that number the other night. So I'll speak at more length at the actual council meeting. Thank you.
Okay, rezoning Ninth and Tenth Avenues.
Excuse me, Mr. President.
Yes.
Speaking on that number 3, that they got rid of that $1 million, that does say we can put it on an agenda anytime. It doesn't mean it, we can vote on it next week. If we have to, we can put it on the agenda for the following month. We don't have to wait for the 60 days.
Right.
Thank
No,
you.
any council member can put something on
Right.
the agenda at any time.
Thank you.
Rezoning Ninth and Tenth Avenues.
Yeah.
Okay.
One part of this process to rezone Ninth and Tenth Avenue, as we've been talking for the last few months, is sending a letter to the county explaining what we want to do and getting, we don't have to get approval, we just gotta let them know what's going on. Greg will talk about this more in detail next week, but this is the letter we got back from the county. It's more or less giving you other options, like doing an overlay versus just rezoning that whole area, so forth and so on. I want to put this in the packet so you have a chance to read it, so when Greg, if you have any questions, when Greg talks about it in more detail, and Dave, next week, it won't be new to you.
Okay, amendments to waterfront property to extend agreement 60 days.
Yeah, the Nouveau who is purchasing the property, we gave them 90 days to do their due diligence. They are still in the process of doing the geotechnical testing, and so they requesting a 60-day extension. 60-day extension to finish up the due diligence to make sure that the property is fit for them to be able to build what they need to be built.
There'll be a motion on the agenda.
No, that is
There will
already.
not.
There won't be a motion on the agenda because we will ratify it because in the executive session, there was a contract issue, therefore we were able to vote in the executive session. We'll ratify that at the meeting.
Yeah, that'll be ratified. Okay, tax collectors year-to-date report. I guess there's something Donna's gonna.
Yeah,
do
there's,
next week, or?
no, it's right in your packets.
Okay.
I always think it's nice to know, we do a pretty, Munhall, we pay our taxes, pretty much so. So the balance, the collectible from the beginning period is roughly $4 million. And we collected $3.6 million already, so we have a outstanding period. We still have 2 months, a month and a half to go. Of non-collectible was $313,000, which I thought was pretty
Well,
good.
We've always collected over 90%. We've always been over 90%
Right.
on our tax collection. So, I mean, Munhall, the residents do a great job of paying their taxes on time without it going to delinquency.
Some,
Well, not everybody. We're never gonna have everybody.
majority.
yeah, so I just want to get this in your hands so you can see where we're at.
Do we happen to know if this is any better or worse than last year?
Yeah, we can't tell you that,
I'm just curious.
not saying.
Is it? Okay.
We've always been around 91, 92.
Well, yeah, I'm not talking about
I
the collection rate, I'm talking about the
Oh.
amount of revenue that we got.
Yeah,
Oh, revenue.
I could tell you that tomorrow.
Okay.
So we'll wait for that.
And Donna Dreschman didn't even have to ask you.
Gene, you have
I'm not
to-
here to ask.
Not here to ask.
It should be
I'm
on
her
her.
proxy.
Three boroughs requests.
What?
I don't know about that. What's that?
That's that letter we just showed you, the other was executive session
Cheryl
from Cheryl Chapman.
Oh, from Cheryl Chapman, yes. Okay, and after Mr. Stein found little grammatic things that was written, being it's coming from us,
Well,
she
it
wants
was-
it to come from us.
Right.
So we have to redesign that a little bit. We have to rewrite that a
Right.
little.
Yeah.
I'd
If
be
it's gonna
happy
come
to
from
do
us,
that.
we want it.
As a retired English teacher,
Yeah.
I'll be happy.
Yeah, we want it done. I mean, Cheryl wrote it, but it's coming from us, and we want it
Right.
redone
Yeah.
the way it
A lot of pronouns.
should read.
screwed up.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Tuchel.
She obviously used a typewriter, not a computer, because spelling and grammar wasn't used.
So before that goes up, we'll have that fixed up. Yeah, before you came in, Mr. Stein picked that up.
Yeah, actually, I don't think there's anything grammatically wrong with it. I think she just wrote it thinking it was gonna come from one person, like Rob, as
Right.
council president. And
Mhm.
collectively
It's
signing it.
coming from Munhall.
I think she was trying to help us with the letter, but
Right.
we do, everyone's okay with sending this letter out to support the grant that the Three Boroughs Association wants to get?
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
In your packet, Allegheny County Borough Association Annual Meeting, December 6th, at Edgewood Country Club. If anyone's interested in go, please let me know.
I was just elected as a board of director on that board, so mine will cost the borough nothing, and, board of directors are covered, so, and I'll take a date, I'll pay for my wife's.
And I duly noted that on October 29th when you told me that the first time.
I know, I was gonna say, Rick, you, on the email, you said you were gonna go?
I am,
Okay,
Are you on to?
yes, absolutely.
What's he doing, taking a date?
I'll take my wife.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
I didn't think I pay for it. Mine's covered though, but the borough have to pay for any other comment, and that's always a good idea. Very good to go to something like that. It's only $25 too, it's not like, it's costing the borough a lot of money to go there. Maps donation request, I said we got a letter from
Yeah,
Mr. Aldridge.
Mr. Aldridge came in a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago, and he was asking for the borough to donate the land and the parking lot to maps that they are using right now. So I asked him to put it in writing, so if everyone could. The one out here.
Huh?
The one out here,
Like the
Where we're parked at right now, we're parked at.
He wants that too.
yeah.
I don't know
So-
I think he did.
Wow.
It's a parking lot. He wants the building and the parking lot.
Parking lot, where you park your car.
I mean, that doesn't mean we do it, but that's his request.
I asked him to put it in writing, he put it in writing, so if anyone has any thoughts or any ideas,
Why don't you do Westfield?
feel free to get back.
Land's in the parking
The
lot.
land could be a consideration, could be. You can't give up that parking lot, there's nowhere to park. People
I
wanna
think everyone's at the same.
yeah. If people wanna reconsider that and reword it, maybe we could deliberate over it.
We can have a discussion with him as well.
Right.
And we wanna know what land, I mean, what part of the land he's talking about, how much.
It's at the very bottom.
From what I read.
Possession of the land.
Right.
Anything else is open for discussion.
And one other thing is, next week, we will vote on ordinance 1592. There will be an ordinance for the Borough of Munhall providing for the approval of an intergovernmental cooperation agreement with Homestead, West Homestead, Still Rivers Council of Governments to establish the waterfront district maintenance zone. So there will be an ordinance, we will vote to advertise the ordinance. Not to vote on the ordinance, vote to advertise.
Any additional items for the good of the body?
I'd just like to bring one other thing up. And it was, I've been thinking about it for quite a while. I know that when the churches no longer use their church facilities as a church, those properties revert to a taxable property. Now, we have non-taxable buildings over here that we're considering taking over, the Willis Center and the other building over there, and I believe they're on separate lots. They should have been reverted to taxable properties whenever they stop being used. So consider that if we don't accept this agreement, that these buildings should be put on tax rolls because they are not being used as any type of healthcare facility at all. They're basically abandoned. So that we should be getting tax money from both of those buildings for the last 10 years. I want you all to consider that as well. That would be a considerable amount of money that would be brought into the borough building, the borough as well. And that would be done immediately. Next year, I would think, it could be voted on and done. So I wanted you all to think about that as well. That does throw a little bit different scenario in the dollars and cents changing hands. And next week, I'll be more prepared to talk about the renovations of this building here which I think we can do for under $2 million. Thank you.
Look, I have one quick comment that made me think about something. I agree with you that they should be changed tax status if we don't do anything because they're not taxable, but my concern is that if that organization wants to give the property away now, if no one takes it, they're probably gonna walk away from it. So I don't know how certain it would be to get something from them. It's just something to keep in mind.
Well, I agree, but, you know, for 10 years now, no one's wanted that building. There's reasons because of that. But we should have been taxing them all along. We should have changed that tax status 10 years ago. So we missed out.
They're a nonprofit organization, that's why they don't pay taxes.
No, you're missing the boat. When the church, if St. Teresa's Church closes, and they close down, the Diocese of Pittsburgh is gonna be taxed for their church, like St. Mary Magdalene's was. They did that. They're a non-taxable foundation as well. So, when the hospital over here, we'll call it Turtle Creek, doesn't use this building anymore, that should have been reversed into a taxable property. I know that they're a non-taxable entity, but that property, when they stop using it, it's no longer a viable property for them to say that they're using that for their purposes. I think I'm correct in saying that.
Makes perfect sense.
So, you know, and they probably will walk away from it, Jason, because they don't have the money to put into that building. And that's why they're begging us to give it to us. And I think years ago, they took that property and didn't realize they were getting that property. That's what I've been told. They acquired it, and they didn't realize what they were acquiring. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But if they're that well, if they have the financial backing to say, take that off of their lien letters from the rest of all their properties, you know, then they should have the ability to say, hey, we should pay the taxes on that property, not walk away from it. I mean, it's not like they're destitute.
Motion to adjourn in order, Mr. Chairman?
We'll entertain that motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second by Mr. Ballas, first by Mr. Sean. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nay. Motion carries.